Hello and welcome to MotoGP Mac, where MotoGP fans congregate and delirious MotoGP fanboys fear to tread.
You made the balls of that one anyway, kid.
Yeah,
How are you doing?
had to throw that a little extra on because I got a real strapper on the line.
Yeah,
Bitching and moaning. I don't know how you think that the guy's like, I don't know how you see that Honda has weak. Where do you get that Honda has weak engineering? I don't know. It's all over the internet for the past 4 years.
You can't beat a Jake intro, can you? How are you doing, sir? How is life over there in that?
Oh, good. I actually got out a ride or two. Pull around with a couple guys flying around. Went to a club, a motorcycle club, not like a sport bike club. And God,
like the Blue Oyster Bar, is it?
Yeah. Oh, I went to a club. No, it's a mainline sport bike club, and Christ, they almost got in a brawl. This is the second one, the second club where they're switching over to Euro bikes. They're all switched over to Euro manufacturer, okay. And the hold-ons are giving people hell, and they're fighting like, shut the hell up. Your bike's in the shop all the time. Don't tell me how good your Japanese bike is. It's for reliability. You know what I mean? Get with the program, you know?
Look, people will be brand orientated, and that's.
But it's getting nuts.
You're never really going to change that.
No, it's getting nuts though. With the other thing, what that really broke out is with people. They are actually mad about the. It was about the concessions, and they was like, "Why do you need?" They were like, the guys with the Euro bikes like, "Why do you need concessions?" And the guy was like, "Well, I don't care what they do to the sport as long as my bike wins." And everybody's like, "Listen, asshole, we want to see the sport. We really don't care what you're a cancer," and they are. That's the biggest cancer. And Dorna is like placating them. They're working in with it.
All right, listen, look. Let's stop talking about fanboys and Dorna and all that shite because
this weekend
we had 3 days of testing.
Yes,
and we haven't fucking mentioned it yet. So
hey, we're only in there 5 minutes though. We're not going to lose the world.
Exactly. Yeah. 5 minutes and we haven't mentioned it. So just look, a couple of things. I do have some people arranged to come onto the podcast. I'm very bad for getting back to them. I will 100% get back. We have a couple of guests that are going to come on, including someone from Sport Bike Track Gear.
They're good people.
So it will be interesting to have them on. Max Van is going to come on. He is doing Super Sports 600 in Moto America.
We gave them a shout out ages ago.
Last week, yeah. And he took.
No, I mean, we like 2 years ago, we gave him a shout out.
We did, yeah. Look, it's a good place to go if you're looking to buy gear, and if you're
they're straight shooters.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah. Also, Argentina has been cancelled. The Argentinian race, lack of funding. Now it's not going to be replaced, the race, and they're hoping to have it in 2025. So it's probably a cash flow issue, as they would say. But anyway, on to testing.
You've been a savior, pal.
And testing, look, it's been pretty difficult to get any news from anywhere because, and I suppose it doesn't really make sense, right? Dorna have all the cameras and everything set up there already. They're putting stuff out onto the internet of videos of riders and bikes and whatever, and it doesn't come out. I don't know, is this necessarily a Teams thing that it's saying they don't want to publish live? I don't know.
It's like the last 2 years. They don't want to look bad.
I do remember at one stage there was a test where the teams asked Dorna not to televise it or have reporters there. So maybe it is something to do with that. But again, look, a couple of things really, really were kind of outstanding. Pedro Acosta, very, very good. Don't get me wrong, very, very good. But it's just testing.
It is just testing, but it's a good sign. I've been looking to go the direction with him. Is it hype? Is the real deal?
Now I believe he is on, or was on the full spec end of year spec KTM or gas, whichever way you want to fucking call it.
Yeah.
So look, the carbon chassis, they did run that carbon chassis in Sepang towards the end of last year, so they do have a lot of data. It was more about getting miles on it, and look, there's something there with them for 100%. But let's get all the big boys out. Do you know what I mean? That are going to go for it. Like, and for me, it would be last day of the riders or of the official test. Then we're going to see who's fucking balls to the wall. Is he going to be there or thereabouts? Like, this guy shouldn't have any pressure on him. He should just go out and be a rookie and enjoy it. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
No worries. But look, there is definitely something there. Every rookie is fast until they crash. Now, he did have one small off. The bike wasn't too badly damaged, so I would think it was a small off. But let him have his big one, and then we'll see how fast he is after that. Yeah. Everyone remembers Jorge Lorenzo, Marc Marquez, Rossi. They were all very fast when they came in. They hit the fucking, or the ground hit them, let's just say, because they wouldn't make a mistake. And then, they curbed off. But some interesting stuff was brought out, and I know I'm going to bring it up anyway because I think this one broke the fucking internet more so than anything. Was the KTM front mudguard.
Love it.
Hate it. Absolutely
love it. I loved every bit of it. Every ripple of all the cool looking aero stuff.
It's not fucking cool looking.
Yes, it is. You're just old. Yeah,
I'm not old, but it's a fucking mudguard.
From here.
It's a mudguard. It's not supposed to be a fucking. It looked like a little stingray on the front of it that didn't know where it was fucking going.
This is the experimental class. This is the where all
prototype class is what you're trying to say. Yeah, you're trying to say it's prototype class, which it is. But no, that's just pure shit. I'm telling you, it is far below. We have a free space. Let's put a fucking wing on it.
Pack. The whole thing is innovation pack, and you're bitching. You want to have a kickstart and peg, spoke.
I fucking bump start the bikes actually.
Yeah, right.
No wasting time kicking this fucking thing. Yeah. I live on the side of a hill, bump start it, it's fine. No, I think for me, I just think I get it. I understand what they're trying to do. But again, this is what I said. And I've always stuck to it. It just needs regulation. That is a free zone, just like the back of the bike is a free zone. Just looks fucking stupid. I get it. There'll be people out there saying it will make my bike look cooler, or I am having it because MotoGP have it. Yeah.
Hey, they just put ride height device, the launch device on KTM production bikes.
They've had launch devices on a load of bikes for years.
Launch.
That's not new.
Yes, it is. Launch ride height on a production bike.
Like as in rear ride height.
Yeah.
That would be new, but I thought you were on about the active suspension.
Not
new.
No, I can bring up the. I can go bring out the. It was in Road Racing World.
All right. Well, still don't think it's
Road Racing World technology. You should pull that up put that in your thing for sites on the computer.
I will. Yeah. But no, look, I still just don't think it's.
Will I ever use it? No.
Nope.
Okay. Well, maybe because my skills are getting shot, but somebody will use it. If they want to pay for it, good. But it's a prototype class. This is what it's fair for. Now, if it was like I said,
no, Jake, no.
Look, if it was Moto 2, I'd be all with you. Okay.
No, it's not. It's not that. Again, it's just. As I said, I don't have anything against aero, but we're getting into a phase. And then when you look at the side of the Ducati, you'll see where I'm going with this, right? That bike.
The aero on the side of the Ducati looks super cool.
But it's never going to be used on the road.
That's what he said about rear ride height. launch control.
No, Jake. Launch control has been there for fucking 15, 20 years.
Well, what they call
you can put launch control onto a fucking RS 125.
They're having rear ride height on the KTM.
But no, okay, active rear ride height. Mm-hmm. If it is active or is it passive, I don't know. We'll need to check that out because if it is passive, that's been around for years of people.
They said it says it all new, blah blah blah. Do you want me to go grab it?
No, it's all right. I'll have a look at it later on because at the specs and see what's going on with it. But no, it's like it's just one of these things, and it just highlights exactly what I said. There is no regulation except a box gap around.
And that's good enough.
It's not. It's not. That for me, that we're maybe 3 or 4 years
we had in the 90s. You said that they did it with one of our members brought up a good point. He said, with all the high sides they had in the 90s, okay, with that much with the horsepower they had then. Imagine if they took all the stuff off now. If they just took,
but Jake, no, Jake, and you're going.
I'm not saying you're saying that.
No, but you're going to the other extreme. No one is saying take everything away. No one is saying that at all, right?
You're not saying it, right?
No, but not a lot of people are saying it.
Oh, I got tons of members. There's tons of members out there that's going, and you're not just this site, but a lot of sites with a lot of the old guys. Oh, just take it all off, and you're going, you can't just take it all off, folks. And they don't get it.
Well, look, to be very honest, right? As a racer or as someone who has raced myself, right? You can only go into the corner as fast as the bike will let you.
Yeah, but as a racer, wait
a second, all right? Mm-hmm. You can only come out of the corner as fast as the grip will that you can do. If you have 200 horsepower more than you need, that's your fucking problem, kid. So you've got to control that.
Then why did they have all the problems with the high sides in the 90s?
Because they were running. They were
electronics.
Don't ask me a question and don't let me answer it.
I'm just saying.
Right? They did have the problem, but it was a very, very different type of motorbike. Power bands within 2-stroke are very different between power bands and 4-stroke.
But it is when you know how many electrics.
Huh? Did you know the 500s did have electrics, Jake?
Yeah, but not.
They did. No, they did. They did. And they still shot them to the fucking moon.
Yeah.
Right? And that was the way of that bike. Because you come out of the power band and all of a sudden you go back into the power band, she'll spin up like a motherfucker and launch you. Right? But that 9 times out of 10, as a rider, you knew you had to stay in that power band.
Mm-hmm.
That was your goal as a rider. Keep that fucker in that power band so you don't get killed.
Yeah, but I'd rather have the way of the bike, okay, be nice and smooth, come out of there, have the bottom drop, and you just take off. Not, oh, shit, and be flying through the air.
I go back to these guys are the most talented riders in the world.
And they shouldn't be flying through the air. There's they're
the best in the world.
They're flying through the air like a pelican.
That's like saying to a boxer, like, don't get punched. Punch him, but don't get punched.
Yeah, of
it's
course.
Part of the job.
Yeah, that's right. It's part of the job. So
they're part of the job. Breaking your fingers off a fella's face are part of the job.
So I guess boxers don't need to have their hands wrapped in boxing gloves too.
But sure they don't.
Yeah, yes, they do. You'll punch your hands on a million pieces.
I watch bare knuckle FC. They don't have their hands wrapped.
Then you never fought before because one of the weakest things in your body is your hands. I don't care how old you're told.
I know that, but look, I still watch fellas fighting out with like UFC. They use what? They do wrap their hands, but they use 4-ounce gloves or whatever it is. You've bare knuckle, then okay, they do wrap their wrists so that the wrists don't snap.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
And they arm punch, by the way. They don't really in most cases.
No. They knuckle. You can see that. You can see it after their hands.
No. When I say the arm punch, they don't. They're not like a boxer in most cases. They're not coming down and planting their feet and coming around.
It's still fist to fucking skull, right? Do you know what I mean?
True. And you know what? People forget the jawbone's a lot tougher than your hands.
Yeah, but look again. I just think, and look, we'll never get to the end of it, right? Because some people will say, Like, I don't agree everything should be removed, right? There should be some stuff there. But these are the best riders in the world, and I hate.
No, the biggest thing we got a problem with this damn 850 trying to push the European.
Look, that's another problem. Do you know what I mean?
That's an ugly one in the. I know it's coming 3. I think that's when I'll stop watching MotoGP is but I got 3 years.
Yeah. Look, no one really knows what's going to happen. People have certain agendas. They want to do certain things. But yeah, KTM. I wasn't overly amazed with what they brought. Saying that, it is the shakedown test, so I wasn't expecting much. The bike didn't look, except for the Stingray mudguard, didn't look too different from what they were doing. Now, they were testing different, or they were running through the rear wings again, seeing which one was different. I think Acosta's main goal was just to do laps, get laps in, which I think he did pretty well. I don't think he had too many faults. I know he definitely had one. So, but look, again, that would be expected.
One of them did have a real big wing on the back. It was stacked wing. Who the hell had that? Was that KTM?
Yeah, but they've had that for ages.
This one was like stacked. It was they had it. This one looked stacked. It was like 3.
Yeah, and it had the curve in the middle. Yeah, that was KTM. Yeah. They were running that at the end of last year. Like KTM brought out 3 wings last year, so rear wings to Yamaha's. Anyway,
Yamaha looks barren, doesn't it? It looks like they forgot a truck. Like, oh
yeah. So
on a plane, it's getting here.
Yeah. Now they did. To be fair, right? The test riders were the race riders on the test were mainly riding last year's aero for Yamaha. Crutchlow did bring out the new aero, and as I said, it just looks like the end of 22, start of 23 aero. Like the aero that Yamaha are running now is so far outdated. It's scary. It's absolutely scary. They're running the Aprilia front wing that Aprilia were running for 2 years, right? They ran a high top rear wing, which is nearly a copy of Red Bull or KTM.
You need to go to like a KTM garage sale.
Now they did try a sculpted rear end cowling, kind of Aprilia-esque from 2022, let's just say. So yeah, I'm very worried about them. Honda, like, I was very happy to see Johan Zarco up there, and he actually gave out a really funny comment, and he said that because he has ridden last year's bike. Mm-hmm. And he said, I'm very lucky to be joining Honda when it's at this stage. So obviously last year's bike was a fucking pig.
Is it my eyes, or did they go with a longer, lower bike?
It does look. What actually makes it look lower is that they're running a new swing arm that's gone on a fucking diet big time, and I mean it's like lean. Like, so it looks like, so the back of the bike looks like it's longer, but it's actually the swing arm is leaner, is what I actually think it is. So it's like, I did have.
They changed the wing on the back of that, the 3 tabs.
Yeah, so they've kind of actually. I'll give them a little bit of kudos for innovation because they've blended the Stegosaurus with the high top wing at the back. Let's give them a bit of kudos. They're the only ones to do that.
It goes up and then it squiggles like.
No. So they have Stegosaurus wings on the side, and then they have the wing at the back, and the wing kind of sits back. I think, but the first
I didn't see a horizontal wing. I thought it was. I thought they were. I saw.
No, it's a horizontal wing, but the first version that they had blocked out the camera. So I would think Dorna said, "Hey fuckers, change that." Do you know what I mean? and they ran that in Valencia. So, so I think, and they are running the fork wings as well now as well, like Ducati. But again, they are quite far behind.
And they are
still aero wise. But look,
I thought they would have more, being they had the open testing, or close to open testing, whatever you want to call it, the much greater testing amounts. I thought they'd come out with more.
Not really.
They throw shit against the wall, kind of,
Yeah, but it's still like I really don't expect anything to come out till the middle of the first test from them. If they're going to bring anything, that's when I'd be expecting it. Like I think
better get their ass in gear then. You know what I mean?
No, but look, I think they did 2 days of testing with their race riders, and I think that set up some great. Because what I noticed was that Mir and Marini especially were doing a lot of baseline testing, if you know what I mean. So they were running with wings on and wings off in certain areas, etc. So I think they were gathering a lot of information, which is actually, again, it's a positive. Do you know what I mean? It's not Honda going out there and fucking throwing parts at it. Do you know what I mean? They have what they have now for that test, and they were working their way around. So I was quite interested to see that. Now, look, obviously, that's me just reading between the lines of different reports and pictures and stuff, and seeing them in different guises. But I won't say that I think what's his name, Zarco, who let's be fair, who wouldn't be fucking the alien or a potential alien, was very close to Pedrosa and them in the test, right? So I think the 1 lap performance is probably there. How are they doing on pace? We don't know. No one knows really, because we can't see the lap fucking time.
That's another thing. When you have extra testing, you can afford to go out and do those softy laps. The soft tire bonsai laps.
And I think that's what Pedro or with
you don't have to have the Europeans now. They have to have everything as testing. They have to test everything. There's no bond. They don't have enough time to have bonsai laps and softy testing.
Yeah, well, look, they will have to, like, they'll have to do one thing. Like, they will have to always focus, like, their first session on a Friday, the first maybe half of that session is probably going to have to be a test session. Do you know what I mean? And then they work on setup. But look, I think overall, I was happier with Honda than I thought I would be. I was expecting very little from them in the first place. But again, a couple of things that I noted was, like, I saw Marini speaking into a device, which obviously was letting everyone in the garage know, but also it was being recorded. So I just thought it was good that the feedback is probably being recorded. His feedback is probably being recorded. Problem is that I don't think he speaks Japanese, so someone needs to convert it into things. So it'll be the accuracy of that fucker converting it. But again, look, I was pleasantly surprised to see Zarco up there. But again, I think Bradl. I think they need to find someone faster than Bradl. Do you know?
Yeah, he was still 2 seconds or over 2 seconds down. As always, he's still in the same. Yeah. It's hard to see when you see Bradl 2 seconds down. As always, you say how much did they really gain? If you look, it's kind of well detailed fact that you need your test rider to be within a second of the thing, and your alien then can take it on from there, right? Right.
Bradl, I just don't think he's bad. I think he's more of an endurance tester and testing for reliability. But I just don't think he's ready, and I think that's where Honda are bringing Zarco into. I think Honda will try and pull Zarco now for the end of his career to be with them, as their tester. That's frankly where I see this going. Ducati, GG, yeah, like that bike falls over, it's fucked. Do you know what I mean? It's given itself its own fucking BSB regulation that if you crash even at a slow pace, you can't fucking rejoin. Do you know what I mean? Because the amount of aero on the side of that, I actually counted on the side pod, 4 vents in.
Only 4? I was hoping for 6. I was hoping for 6 or at least an 8, maybe.
4 invents. Yeah. So
I was hoping to have a vent inside of a vent. If
they do technically.
Good, yeah.
Yeah. But again, I don't know. I think it's getting a bit like if that falls, it's gone. 100% gone. Do you know what I mean? Like forget about your little winglet at the side. This thing now, huh?
Yeah, they need spares.
No, it's not even that. Like you tip over at 2 miles an hour on the track.
Yeah.
Your race is over.
That's what I mean. You need spares to slap another one on there.
So, but
if they hit a bird, it's just gonna grind it down into mush.
Yeah. So like they have the downward ducts system, which was working last year. Pecco and Martin were running it at the end of the season. Bastianini was too. They've also brought in the side ducting that Zarco and Martin were running. Martin was running at the first half of the season. Zarco was running it at the end. And within that side panel, then there's 2 intakes there, the duct, and then right up on top of it as well, just behind where the wing is, there's another intake there going down. It is venting out the bottom, but saying that, there was a hole at the bottom of last year's one that's not there. So I wonder, have they just moved that venting hole a little bit forward, if you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I still think there's probably more that they can do. I don't think we've seen the final version of it. I wouldn't also put it past Gigi to be putting that out there to confuse the fuck out of everyone. Personally, myself. But they did do a lot of running on it. So when I saw it first, I was like, he's having a fucking laugh. It is kind of quite honest what I thought. And then I was like, it went into day 2 and day 3, and I was like, all right, maybe you wouldn't be putting it on there for that long if you were just having a laugh. Do you know what I mean?
I'm sure he's waiting to the last minute to throw their best stuff on. Because with Dorna, they'll ban anything that they figure is going to win.
Well, like realistically, I don't think we're going to see the final versions of any bike until the last day of Qatar.
Yep.
Test. Yep. So everything is up in the air, changing. So I don't really think things will be settled. But then saying that, Pirro wasn't really impressive on it. Do you know what I mean?
I don't really expect him to be either.
You would expect Pirro to be definitely within the second, like, do you know what I mean? And he wasn't. So? Yeah. Pirro's an active race rider. Do you know what I mean? Okay, not at that level, but like every weekend he's always on fucking something. Do you know what I mean? So you would expect him to be somewhat building.
They're testing. They're not, and Ducati never goes out balls to the wall anyway.
But you'd still expect them within the second as a baseline. Do you know what I mean? That's their
True.
That would be their now.
That was falling back a bit much, but who knows? This really wasn't a strong, but they still should have televised it, or at least put up.
Or even just had. Even I'm sure Dorna could have got Jack Appleyard or whatever just to do a live stream and a commentary of.
I couldn't get timing, dude. I have the MotoGP app and the subscription. I couldn't get the timing, just the numbers, as they flow. Well, how did you get it?
I didn't. I took some. I found 2 places that were giving hourly updates, so I could track in between hours of what who's done what.
You are the man. Kudos to this man, guys. He's the one keeping us together. Here's the guy that just making the boat sail.
Yeah, but look, it was interesting just to kind of see who was doing that. But again, look, we should have televised or at least timing for this weekend's or next week's test. Excuse me, next week's test. It'll be. I'm not expecting anything major either out of it. I think. Will we have seen the last or all of the aero devices? I don't think so. I suppose the thing what I would be watching out for is that if the correlation between just say Ducati's expectations and what they were experiencing in real life are in correlation, I don't think we'll see anything till the end. If their correlation is out, I think they'll have to bring forward whatever parts they're going to run. Does that make sense?
Yeah. What about Aprilia? I didn't say what's going on with Aprilia.
So Aprilia so they brought out the new front wing. They again, like it is interesting that they're tying it around from the end plane of the wing back into the main cowling. Which I thought was quite interesting to read why they would be doing it. Do you know what I mean? Again, because it's like that vertical part of it causes problems when the bike is banked over. Do you know what I mean? Because it's pulling the bike, it's having the opposite effect to your ground force effect on the side pod. They've created a Batmobile type rear cowling, which again is kind of a further development of what they had last year. Last year they had little lips on the side of it, but now this year they really enhanced it. And for me, what they're trying to do is they're trying to reattach that air.
It's kind of like the duck one. Remember KTM had the duck bill in the back? It kind of
yeah. It's kind of like that, but the edges roll up onto the side, and like for me, what it's trying to do is it's trying to reattach the dirty air that comes off the rider's helmet and back down to, which is causing drag. So it's trying to reattach it so that it reduces the drag formed of the air coming over the rider. Will it work? I don't know. They're also looking at the rear wheel quite a lot, and they were running rear wheel cowls, but it was not on the actual wheel. It was actually sitting on the swing arm. So again, it's quite an interesting thing with it. Shit. They weren't running the carbon chassis, which I thought was interesting. It was the aluminium chassis. Yeah. Well, no, the pictures I saw. Savadori was running the thing. Now, I think for Aprilia or another team that they're in a situation with Savadori, and Savadori is a good reliability rider. He's just not at the races though. You know,
right.
He's not within a second, so. Just not sure what he's going to do along the lines of it, you know.
Everyone was saying how much potential they thought that Aprilia was going to do this year, you know. So I was just curious.
See, Aprilia need to.
You get to see squat. I feel like a redheaded stepchild over here today. But then again, everybody is. So thanks. Thanks again for pulling. Going above and beyond.
I know. Look, it's no hassle, and like for me, when I look at it, it's just like, Aprilia's problems are not aerodynamic. Actually, they're more, I think, engine related, right? Because they have a V4, but they can't use it as a V4. They have to carry corner speed, and that kind of confuses me a lot, if you know what I mean, because it's really Yamaha-esque. Do you know what I mean? And then I'm kind of looking at it, well, fuck it. If Yamaha then do go and build a V4 and their ethos is always corner speed, they're going to end up in the same fucking piss tank as Aprilia. Do you know what I mean? It's just, you can't pass someone down the straight. If someone gets in front of you, you can't run the lines you want to run. So it's Like Joe, and then I would be thinking to myself, well, why would Yamaha spend 60, 70, 80 million to develop a V4 and end up in the same fucking pissing pool? So anyway, I think it's the test. I think was very interesting. There's a lot of people already writing Honda off, which I wouldn't. I would at this stage I would put Honda ahead of Yamaha.
Bite your tongue.
I would put Honda ahead of Yamaha. I would be more confident at this stage that Honda will come out of this faster.
Yeah, but Yamaha has better engineering. But
But I look. We all know that there's a lot.
They're going off. I know they're going off the inline four. It's kind of tough. It's how do you, like I said,
no, Honda. My understanding is that Honda have hired a number of engineers, European engineers.
Really?
That is.
We said that before. Honda said they always say we're going to hire European engineers, and then they don't.
And if I look at Yamaha, and look, this is right. So we know that Yamaha do not understand the aerodynamics, right? And key factor of Yamaha has two major problems: their engine and an aero, right? Engine. They're not really going to change. They're not going to come out with another 15 horsepower or 20 horsepower.
Right.
That gap, right? That's fair enough. No.
I think they should, but that's not their point. I think,
but they can't. They just don't. It's just not there, right? And
they could do it. They could
do it, but it'll just blow up every race, and that's just
I don't know if it'll blow up every race.
Every
at the end, it might.
race.
Yeah, you're right. It might, at the end,
race.
it would start to go.
2 races in the weekend, it's going to blow up every fucking weekend. So, like I remember, I'll tell you a story. There was a Formula One driver called Jean Alesi, right? And he used to drive for Ferrari in the early 90s when Ferrari used to run the 3.5 liter V12.
Mm-hmm.
What a fucking screamer of an engine, man. Just moto porn is just what you would call it, right? But the mechanics used to have a bet at the start of every race how long the engine would last. And it never got past 30 laps. Was the bet. Keep it real. And a lot of the times they knew they was just going to blow up before the race even started. Do you know what I mean? And this is like, hopefully one of them will finish. Right? So for me, when I look at Yamaha, right, if they blow up the engine,
I think
one or two.
If they keep some fresh ones, if they keep hitting fresh ones, they can do it for a couple, for a few races.
Yeah, they can't, and they can't.
High horsepower, and it would help. Fabio would be over the moon. It would keep him.
I don't think so. No, I think 1 or 2 engine blowups. Yeah, you can go say, okay, that's fine. When it starts pushing into the 3 or 4 or 5, that's kind of brand damaging, really, regardless of position of where they are, right? So I think, look, I don't think they're going to get 10 horse or 15 horsepower out of that engine, because if they would, or if they could have, they would have. Right?
I know, yeah.
They're not tinkering at this engine for a couple of weeks, like, you know what I mean? They're spending years on it, and they're not.
Yeah, it's been years now. We forget.
Yeah, they're not getting the major thing, and then the aero, right? So the aero that they put on, and you'd have seen it from yesterday's video, is just so far behind, right? And they have, like, I was expecting personally big things out of Yamaha. Now, I could be surprised during the week and they could run a new aero, but the aero that Crutchlow was running, and not the race riders, but the new aero that Crutchlow was running, I was like, are you for fucking real? Was the actual thing came out of, like, the screen nearly got fucking punched when I saw the pictures of it. I was like,
I know exactly what picture you're looking at too.
I was like, you've had 8 fucking weeks. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're in this shit. Christmas is fucking cancelled. Figure this the fuck out. We need to turn up at Sepang with an aero package and different versions of it that we can figure this the fuck out, that we can get faster than last year's laps, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And I was just, so that's why I think, but like when I look at Honda, and I've said this a few times, and I'm not a Honda man at all. I commend them for trying. They've copied everyone's fucking aero.
There's nothing wrong with copying. As much as I hate
to try and figure it out and to see what impact that it'll make. And for this reason, the fact that they're willing to throw time, money, I won't say expertise 100%, but again, like I gave them kudos at the start of this podcast. They're the only ones that running the version of the rear section. Do you know what I mean? They're trying to innovate. They're trying to understand. They're trying to push it. When I look at Yamaha, they've just copied every single. Like you look at the front wing is brilliant, right? The side section of it is a blend between Honda and Ducati. So from 2022, and Honda obviously last year, and then you look at the rear tail section, and it's like a KTM, and you're just like, come on, lads, will someone just fucking? Do you know what I mean? Hire scarbs.
You know what I mean? Why not? Yeah, true.
Hey, scarbs.
Hiring out. There's nothing wrong with
But they are. But that's my point. Yamaha have used an external company to design their aero.
Nothing wrong with that.
But it's fucking from 2022.
So there's something wrong with that.
Exactly. Like the aero that's on the aero that turned up at Valencia and at the thing in Sepang was from fucking 2022, maybe started 23. If I'm being nice, it's a year behind. Like, but Yamaha don't understand what these things are going to do, so they can't make a fucking decision. So they have to try them. Yeah. They should have been trying these fucking things during the year.
These concessions are the biggest crock of shit ever walked. Okay, but copying is nothing wrong with copying because that's what brings performance up to its own level. When you say, you hear me say performance by its own level, that's because of copying. There's nothing wrong with copying.
But
you should have to copy the latest thing. You know, you should.
But that's my point, Jake, and that's why I say Honda are in a better position than Yamaha.
Yeah.
Because they copied everyone all of last season while testing during race weekends without fucking concessions.
Well, they could be just holding their cards at this point. You know what I mean?
What are they going to do? Steal the show?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I just can't. It's not like their financial. But by the way, it's not like their financials are any worse than Honda. Honda has worse financials going on than Yamaha does.
But no, my point here is like either Fabio and Rins were working on engine related stuff, which I believe they probably were because they were running the engine on known aero to back tested. But my problem was that the aero that Crutchlow and Crutchlow only ran was the exact same as last test in Valencia.
God.
And you're just like,
when I saw that is just a long time for them to sit on their hands under the microscope that they're at right now, because everybody's looking at them, which is puzzling because you're in an R&D game, you're in a PR situation, people are looking at you. Then the PR game, what's coming out with Yamaha, what are they doing? All the Yamaha fans are looking and going, that's it.
Exactly. And that's what I was like. I was secretly hoping that it was just like that they would actually pull their finger out of their arse and do something, show that come out. But most of the laps.
I hope Yamaha beats Honda though, because even though they got the concessions, it's always Honda pushing for the bullshit. They're always with their hand out, crying, whining.
But I've said this multiple times now. There's nowhere to hide for both factories now.
No, there's not.
If you finish last with all these concessions, it's very clear to the world then that you're not trying. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's the concessions are for 1 year.
I think they'll roll into the next year. To be honest,
Yeah, so do I. I think they'll hold on to it forever. But
I know it won't
hold on to it until the Japanese win, which is bullshit. But anyhow,
yeah. But look, that's what it is, I suppose, and it won't.
You know me, I want everybody to go off the same playing field. And before anybody cries and whines about the 8 bikes, I switch. I'm sure Ducati or anybody else with the brain would switch. They'd rather have concessions than 8 bikes. Ducati didn't really want the 8 bikes, for God's sake.
No, they don't. And
4 bike, folks. You can only get data off of 4, not 8. Anyhow.
Yeah, and actually, speaking of that, but like actually, even looking at that, and I suppose like Ducati have come out and said that the jump between the 23 and the 24 is bigger than the 22 to 23 in difference. And if
I could see that because they really reeled back. They bit themselves in the end.
Yeah, but like even looking at the side pods that are going to go on the 24 bike, if those are genuine, that bike is going to create an awful lot more downforce.
Well, hopefully.
But they're not going to be running that on the 23. It's only the 24. So it'll have a more powerful engine, and then it'll have more aerodynamic downforce, which.
Well, they're going to need but they're going to need that when you start having the downforce. It takes away from the power.
But that's what I mean. So they reckon now Ducati could have egg on their fucking face with Mr. Marquez, as like he's going to be going. Fuck! I have a bike that turns, it accelerates, it does what I want it to do, and I can push it as hard as I can push it. So they need there needs to be a big difference to have a little bit of a buffer, in my view. But I think it will be interesting. I am excited to see a boxing match between Marquez and Martin. I think that's going to definitely happen. I think they're going to piss each other off.
Oh, yeah.
And, we could have a Rossi Biaggi punch behind the thing
all
somewhere.
Day. Yeah.
I hope so anyway.
I don't know. Who do you think will win that one? They're both about the same size, same build.
Yeah, it'll be funny. I was going to say something there now, but it's probably politically incorrect, so I won't.
Tell me later, and I'll say it.
Tell you later. Yeah. I think it'll be a funny. If it does turn into an argument, I think it would be a pretty funny one, if I'm honest. Yeah. I don't know. Look, like the season. I think we're
more of a hellraiser. I think he's been in more brawls. I have a feeling he's been in more fights. I think he'd take Marquez. But though Marquez has excellent. His reflexes are phenomenal. So he has great hand speed.
He does, but look, I suppose, yeah. I don't really know. I think it'll be just interesting to see what exactly happens.
Give me a day with Marquez and let me train him. I'll have him tuning Martin right up.
Yeah. I definitely think there's going to be definitely a fallout or a disagreement between those two. It'll be interesting to see them with Pecco. Like, there is no doubt that Pecco is Ducati's boy, and like Ducati have come out and said it straight away. And I think this is what pisses Martin off big time. Like, Ducati have come out and said, like it's our priority to sign Pecco first.
Yeah.
And I just be in stitches, and you could just imagine Martin when he'd be hearing that being like, "You fucking prick!" Like, getting all fucking. But look.
Martin's his worst enemy, He is.
He is, yeah, 100%. Like he says dumb fuck stuff, to be honest, and you're just like, shut your mouth, ride your bike. You're in a fucking privileged position that you've one of the best works bikes on the grid. Shut up.
Yeah.
Life is not bad. You get paid a lot of money. You ride a bike the best bike that's currently on the grid, and you're still fucking whinging.
Yeah.
So, and he kind of actually reminds me an awful lot of Crutchlow. Do you remember Crutchlow when he was in Tech 3? And he was complaining about the difference between the Tech 3 bike and the factory bike, and I want a factory bike, I want a factory bike, I want a factory bike, I want a factory bike.
He was on that like a dog, like think on shit.
Yeah. Want a factory bike, want a factory bike, want a factory bike. Went to Ducati. Don't want a factory bike, don't want a factory bike, don't want a factory bike. You know what I mean? Got onto a works factory contract, but not the actual factory bike. And it's
and the bike was good. That's the only problem he had. It was like, if I recall, if that was they were past the bad years. You were into the 15, 16.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think he went there after Rossi, wasn't it? He only lasted 1 year. But again, I think he was maybe just a fish out of water, and maybe he just didn't gel with the team. And like Stoner, I know people aren't so much fans of Stoner, but I think Stoner was right about Ducati, and
I really dislike Stoner now. Oh my god, all he does is piss and moan and whine. He's like somebody with he's spiteful. He lost that job, right? They didn't give him the job as a rider coach, and then he's all like,
yeah. But look, but he's always been that way, right? So like, to be fair, he hasn't changed.
He's been whining his whole life,
his whole career. So look, but look, saying that, he's a hell of a fucking rider. You know what I mean? And he does command, in my view, a good bit of respect. You know what I mean? Same with Lorenzo, was an awful moan as well. But again, when you're that fast, you can moan.
Yeah. We haven't hit, by the way, we should say something. The World Superbike has been a lot of good news in the World Superbike. If you've had a chance to go look at it,
I've seen a few bits. I am interested to see how Bulaga will actually go in race trim.
Yeah,
testing is one thing.
Well, he's got to hold it up because Bautista, he must have really bashed himself up because he's. Like the last session, he was 15th.
Yeah. But
he said that, and they're saying that the added weight's screwing him up, screwing the bike up.
Yeah, but look, he's always going to use that excuse, right?
I mean, that seems to be the general consensus, not just him.
I know, but look, it's always, if you turned around to the likes of I suppose, like riders are riders, but like I personally look. They knew 15 kilos was going to be added, and they knew this now for a while, right? Do you know what I mean?
It still doesn't make it right. It's bullshit.
It doesn't make it right? Success ballast is nothing new, though. Do you know what I mean?
How dare you be successful? How dare you make a better bike?
Yeah. Well, but look, it's not even just on bikes; it's on cars and fucking.
No, but it's down to it's just back to the bullshit of you have to have a Japanese manufacturer win. God forbid. And what's funny is who's jumping into the spot if Ducati's backing out? BMW with Top Rack. Tops the last has the
but
it's a record.
I can tell you though, right? That's Top Rack. That's not BMW. Right?
Yeah, I know. But it made me smile. It made me smile any way you look at it. You know,
I was just laughing at Reading, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? Because like there is no hope for if Reading was in where Top Rack was, the BMW would be anywhere near that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they do say that the BMW has made a big jump, regardless.
It has, but like there's still nowhere near Top Rack's pace. Do you know what I mean? And his level, let's just call it.
I mean, the other riders are not at his level. No.
And I was pleasantly surprised with Johnny Ray on the Yamaha. I thought he didn't do too bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's doing well. Well, he's warming up to it, but I didn't expect him to jump right off of the Kawasaki and make a record on the Yamaha.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how he goes because I reckon this could be his last year. You know.
Yeah.
So, I think he's only on a 1-year deal, so it will be interesting to see what happens for him next season.
Yeah, but the Yamaha and the Kawasaki weren't that much different. The Yamaha was a faster bike, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. The Dorna again that penalized the Kawasaki so much for.
Yeah, look,
I don't know, but then took it away.
Yeah, it is. I don't like the kind of rules Dorna do. But then, look, saying that, look, I'm a much sort of simpler person in the way of like my favorite riding series besides MotoGP is BSB.
I know. You would be in the seventh heaven to have a mixture between MotoGP and BSB.
Oh, would yeah. And like I genuinely.
Then you have to pick up all the body parts, but that's another story.
That's okay. We can do that, and just build stronger race suits so that the body parts don't go flying. Infected all in one. Look, they're still riding.
A backhoe thing because they could just pick up the bodies and throw them in the back. Just off the track.
Luckily, thank God, and touch wood that we haven't had a fatality in BSB in a while. Look, it does happen to every form of sport, but I think I still have great admiration for them. Those guys in BSB, no traction control, no this, no that, 230, 240 brake horsepower machines, and they're fucking. Look, it's just I suppose it's a different mindset as well. You put Rossi or you put Marquez or anyone on a BSB circuit, you know what I mean? They'll fucking freak the fuck out, like, you know what I mean? Because the barriers are so close, and the BSB give a shit. You know what I mean? They'll just fucking right into it if they did.
Yeah,
if they thought it was faster.
Half of them are going for the Isle of Man.
No, very few of them actually.
Really?
Okay, there's a few of the front runners. Yeah, would be like there's been very few successful BSB riders. Now, there has been some on the roads, and it's just that there's a different mentality. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was watching a movie there the other night. I watch it quite regularly, actually, called Road, and it's the story of the Dunlop dynasty. So you have Robert and Joey and Michael and William, obviously. Joey, Robert, and William have all passed away in motorbike crashes, but it kind of just gives the kind of an insight into the family that, and I have a very similar thing is that, like, one of their kind of, I won't say mantras or whatever, but their mindset is that they would prefer to die in a motorbike crash or a motorbike than lie in a hospital bed for 6 months and die. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, you can kind of look at it in the way that, like, they really want to live, actually. So they want to push everything to the limit. And Guy Martin was quite the same as that. He wanted to give 100%, and if you have a problem with it, go fuck off and cut your grass. And just leave us to do this. But road racers' mentality, in my view, is a lot different. Is that they don't ride to the 110% that you would ride on a circuit. Do you know what I mean? Like, so someone like Marc Marquez is probably killed in his first lap.
Yeah,
because he overrides the bike. That's his mentality. He has to push away too far. And when you look at it, kind of like Joey and those on the Isle of Man used to be maybe 85, 90%. John McGuinness came along and he is pushing it maybe to 93, 94%. Peter Hickman and those now have come along and they're bringing it to like 95, 96%. Do you know what I mean? But there's still that percentage of margin where they're not diving 100% at the actual limit.
I'll give you a story, by the way, and it runs along those lines. The first time they told me I had cancer was like 10 years ago, right? And I was in shape then. I was ripped to the whole 9 yards, right? I jumped on the bike, went out, and just blasted everybody. Even though my skills, I'm way too big, to be fast. That's not fitting anybody. I blasted everybody. I was beating guys that I never thought I'd beat because I was just pissed on it. I'm going to kick the bucket anyway. So I'm braking deeper, putting the gas on faster. It was just balls to the walls. I got nothing to lose, right? people thought that was the fastest F4RR to God's green earth. I was beating every Ducati, every jet bike, I mean, I just smoked everybody. Yeah, it was when you have that mentality of I'm fuck it, I got nothing to lose. You jump up, more
exactly,
than you.
And it's not nothing to lose. It's just you're just you're not afraid, right? And it's kind of just that way, I suppose. If you're not afraid and you're not worried about it, and you're not, technically there's no. There's no, it's just a weird way to be able to live your life. And okay, you have family.
Everybody thought the sickles would get me.
Probably still will. But look, it's a good thing. But I suppose we have testing now this week again.
Hope they put it on TV,
or even timing that you can
head to MotoGP.com.
Yeah, it'd be like ding dong fuckers.
Yeah, I don't mind paying a subscription, but come on, let's just follow through here. It's a deal we made.
So look, we're testing this week. It'd be interesting to see. Realistically, look, the last day of testing, and realistically, with the testing in European time, obviously it's on like 2 a.m. till 10 a.m. or 10:15. And like realistically, kind of like 8 a.m. Irish time is kind of the fast laps will be going in around then, like at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Rain normally comes, so look, it's kind of a thing for people, especially in Europe. When you wake up, turn it on, because that'll probably be the fastest times of the day will be going on in and around then. So look, everything will be interesting.
And by the way, could everybody start buying Mac some coffees? He's been doing a hell of a job, going above and beyond, because he wants a new bike. Put it to the new bike fund. We can get him in a new Euro bike, a new Ducati. All right. Trust me, I'll be putting more forward to it than anybody. So helping him out.
Yeah. Well, look, we'll see. We'll wait and see what happens.
And as a member, one of our members, Gas, needs to get a bike. He doesn't ride. He knows.
So I've been talking to Gas, and I'm going to bring Gas on to the podcast, right? I'm going to have a big bucket of popcorn and sit back and watch you two Yankees go at it.
He needs to try the Triumph, the new 400, the Speed 400, or the Aprilia.
Look, Gas has things going on in life.
Huh?
Gas probably has things going on in life too, so it's not.
They're cheapy bikes. They're cheapy bikes. They're the ones you can put. If he finances, which he can in the United States, he's gonna have that like $59.95 payment. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I don't, to be honest.
Yeah,
because we're not in the States.
Yeah, anyway, I mean, we're talking about a $5,000 bike out the door. All right.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, and you can finance it for 60 months. So he, we're talking popsicle money. All
right. Okay. Fair enough. Anyway, on that bombshell, we will wrap it up there for this week, and we will see everyone again next week after testing. Hopefully, we'll have some guests on also, and go from there. All right.
Take it easy, folks. Go out and ride. We're in time.